Beth is here to tell us about the changes that were put into place at the Board of Trustees meeting under Dr. Angie Taylor that have led to much more efficient meetings for the district and still allow for all voices to be heard. Given the pushback that our county commission has received over similar changes, we thought that this would be a very timely topic for our members. And Beth really wanted to share the benefits of these changes with us. So much so that she moved her 6 o'clock meeting to 6:30 to make this happen. So even though she will have to end her presentation by 6:25, she's very excited to be with us tonight to discuss this very important topic. So let's welcome Beth Smith.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for that introduction. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for letting me come here today. I know that public comment has been a very, very hot topic. And what I'm about to share with you are things that have been really out in front of, particularly in support of Chair Hill. So we're going to start with what we do in public service, public meetings, government, all of that. One of the things that really ties that all together and the meaning of it is really the public. And so public voice is incredibly important in all of the decisions that are made in government and particularly in local government. We also in Nevada have the Nevada Open Meeting Law, which is not just a series of laws, but it also has what are called like inferred spirit of the laws or the intentions of it. And so we know as public servants that we cannot be reaching our best decisions without the voice of the public. But we still need to get to the business of the meetings that we have. So for example, not very long ago, we did have a disruption that was at the Washoe County School District at one of the board meetings. And I had to explain to the public there that fundamentally these are business meetings that happen in the public with the public. And the public is very, very important to that, but we still need to get to the business of running whatever government entity we're responsible for through the power of the people who put us in those offices. So that's the first thing I really want to get to, is that fundamentally the local government bodies that you have here, they are conducting business meetings that are held in public with the public. And so that's the really important first detail that I really want to touch on. So I am the president of the school board now, and I am the beneficiary of a very brave and totally legal decision that Assemblywoman Dr. Angie Taylor, who was the school board president before me, made earlier in 2021, when also faced with hours and hours and hours of public comment, often not related to anything that was on the agenda, which is fine for public comment. The school district was in a situation where families and commenters and teachers who were there for agendized items were waiting 2, 3, 4 hours before their scheduled business item was being heard. And so Dr. Taylor made the decision at that point to, of course, preserve public comment during all action items, which I'll come back to in a moment, but then to take the open public comment, which are about items not on the agenda, and having that at the end of the meeting. And at the time, the public comment was in the beginning, and then it was also in the end. The school district also made another change that was incredibly important and I think very positive, is that it also started taking public comment via email. And some of the nice benefits of taking public comment via email is you're not held within 3 minutes. You can have attachments, so people send that over. So the school district wanted to proceed very carefully with maintaining the law and the spirit of the Nevada Open Meeting Law, but making sure that we still have the public voice in all of the decisions that we make. And I'm incredibly grateful that Dr. Taylor did that, because as a result, the school district meetings have been going exceptionally well with no loss at all in public engagement. For all of the business items that we get to and take votes on, we take public comment at every single one of those before any decisions are made during that item. And the open public comment, which again are things not on the business meeting agenda, happen at the later part of the meeting, which is after the business of the meeting is over, and it's an appropriate time for constituents and community members to bring other things that were not in the business meeting. This was challenged by dozens of open meeting law violation allegations, lawsuits, protests, you name it. 100% of those actions showed that this structure is completely legal, and the school board has seen an incredible increase in our effectiveness and our efficiency with our ability to do the work, which is really the business of actually running the school district. So I know when Chair Hill also made her decision to structure the way that public is actually heard in all the items, I want to be really clear to everyone, not only is it legal, but this will also allow the county commission to get to the business of running the county in a more efficient way that does not at all remove public voice from any of the items that have action. This is solely related to items not on the agenda, and it protects the people who are there to give that testimony and public comment for the items, the people that are actually there presenting it. And I am the beneficiary of it now. A lot of people tell me the school board meetings are running so well. We're so glad. And I have made it very clear that we are the beneficiaries of that great decision by Dr. Taylor. I fully support Chair Alexis Hill in the decisions that she's making. And I think it's very, very important as the public to know that the county is not removing any public voice whatsoever in its decision-making. It's prioritizing the business of running the county for our community and then creating space for items not on the agenda afterwards. So I want to make it very, very clear that the school district also went through its protests. We also had, like I said, many, many open meeting law violations filed against us and lawsuits, and 0% of them prevailed because this manner of running government is absolutely legal. It's absolutely within the spirit of the Nevada open meeting law, and this actually produces more effective and efficient government for our community members. And I would love to take questions, but I really want to be out in front of this. I have shared this with members of our media. I have been in contact with Chair Hill in support of this too. And I know that there's a lot of misinformation around what is legal and not legal. And I wanted to speak as the president of my own board. I'm not speaking for the board. I'm speaking as myself as an individual trustee, but I am also the manager of the meetings the way that Chair Hill is, which is one other detail I want to make. As the chair of the commission and as the president of the board, we're also known as the meeting managers, which means that we're able to make certain decisions as the manager of those meetings. It does not have to go to a vote, and it does not have to be a consensus decision. As the manager of the meetings, that is a power and authority that is conferred to us through the other members of our governing body. And that's part of our responsibility, again, for being the chair and for being the president of the school board. I plan on keeping it this way. We're doing really good work. We're serving our kids. We're serving our community. And one of those reasons, again, is because Assemblywoman Dr. Angie Taylor recognized that we needed to get down to the business of running the district. And that's the way it's run right now. So I wanted to see if anybody had any questions. I'm very open to answering anything. And I want to make sure that I address this and I've been out in front of it. So I'm absolutely here to answer questions or if there's anything that you need me to clarify. And I see your comment in the chat, Mark. You're very, very welcome. So, and that's a really important talking point. These are business meetings that are held in the public with the public. Public is absolutely critical to them. And there is still a way that we bring the public into these conversations and these votes and the representation. Thank you so much, Karen. I see that comment there too. I can't see any of the raised hands, Krista, so I'm going to need your help if anybody has a question there.
If you're speaking in our room, for the sake of the people on Zoom, please identify yourself and then give your question.
My name's John Solomon, and what I don't understand, I understand that you have control over the format of the meeting. How much control over the actual agenda items do you have as chair?
Complete control. So the chair or the president, in my case, has complete control over the agenda items. So that means the items that, it depends on, each body has different rules around how many trustees or commissioners are needed to get something on an agenda. But ultimately, as the manager of the meeting, I also control the agenda as well.
We have another question in the room.
Hi, this is Chris Wicker, and I want to congratulate you on what you're doing. I'm the unlucky recipient of a certain Facebook website that appears that they're dedicated to creating disruption at both the school board and at the Washoe County Commission, and totally spreading misinformation and have reduced themselves to calling names. So I think that standing up to those folks that don't want to see business done, but they just want to cause mayhem, I just want to congratulate you and say most sane people appreciate this.
I really appreciate that too. I really do. And that's a point of pride that they have. They openly address it as wasting time. And that doesn't serve kids. It doesn't serve teachers. It doesn't serve our community. It doesn't serve our homeless. So I really appreciate you saying that, because there is quite a bit of vitriol out there. And a lot of it is absolutely false. Which is exactly what Chair Hill is dealing with right now on the unfair attacks on her.
Yeah, we all know that all politics is local, as they say. Kamala Harris, when she came to UNR actually April now, it's not last month, it's now June, but reminded us to pay attention to those local elections, the school board and all of that, because it really does matter. We're going to need to protect Chair Hill in her reelection bid this time around to make sure she gets reelected. She is doing an excellent job and has a good working relationship with her fellow commissioners, but we're going to have to do the work to make sure that she gets reelected. So are there any questions from anyone in Zoom? Anybody else here have any more questions, kudos, whatever for President Smith? Well, Beth, thank you so much for coming out and making this time. Thank you for having coffee with me and us brainstorming to get this done. This was great. Thank you for making the time again. I know you've got to run to that next meeting, but again, thank you so very, very much.
Thank you. It was great to see everyone. And don't forget, you're always more than welcome to reach out to me. It's an honor to serve all of you. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here so that I can offer another leadership support position in support of Chair Alexis Hill. So thank you so much.
Thank you again.